بسمه سبحانه وإن من شيء إلا يسبح بحمده. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته بعدد كلمات القرآن وحروفاتها. My dear, loyal, blessed brothers and my strong, active and firm friends in the service of the Qur'an. Recently, 6 men, including myself, foremost Carpenter Ahmed, and finally me, have each been the cause of a particular matter due to a spiritual warning. The first, Carpenter Ahmed, who is among the students of the Risale-i Nur and Madrasa Nuriya and is an active and passionate hard worker, has written a letter in which he refers to a 10-year-old innocent child. This child, by the name of Ashraf, left his village and possessions and traveled a distance of 2 days. He successfully copied out the Risale-i Nur in 10 days despite not knowing how to write, and this is referred to as being a keramet of the Risale-i Nur as well as being a wonderful blossom of the Madrasa Nuriya. Indeed, we too will say that just as beautiful flowers blossoming during the physical winter season is a wonder of divine power, so too, in the spiritual and terrifying winter of this age, for the village of Saw, that is the Saw tree blossoming with 1,000 beautiful flowers and fruits of paradise, and the thousands of roses of Muhammad ﷺ blossoming across the provincial garden that is Sparta, we believe and offer endless praise to Almighty Allah that it is certainly a wonderful miracle of mercy, an amazing keramet of divine favor for this country, and an extraordinary divine gift for the students of the Risale-i Nur. Note, and with each being a sadberg, that is each flower carrying 100 leaves. The sacrificing students of Dariviran in Carpenter Ahmed's letter, resembling the hard-working students of all times, has deeply pleased us and the students of the Risale-i Nur who have been raised in the madrasa and who feel a sense of longing for the students in those times. The female students of the Madrasa Nuriya, the spiritual assistance they provide to the hard-working parents through the evrad of the Qur'an and their du'as and evrads is so beautiful. It will become a perfect lesson for the women in this region. May Almighty Allah be eternally pleased with them and with all the students and ustads of that madrasa. Ahmed's dream is very blessed and beautiful. To hear the strong voice of Hazrat Isa alayhi could be a sign that the followers of Christ are making a strong appeal for help and that they will join the followers of the Qur'an. The second man and his mother, a young Hafiz among the students of the Risale-i Nur, said, like many other men, I am increasingly suffering from the problem of forgetfulness. What should I do? So I told him, do not look at those who are not your mahram, close relation, as much as possible. For there is a narration on this. As Imam Shafi radiallahu anh has said, looking at what is haram causes forgetfulness. Yes, among the people of Islam, the rise in looking at what is haram will excite the desires of the nafs and will open the way to wastefulness through abuses of the body. He will be forced to take ghusl a few times a week and as a result will medically experience a loss in memory. Yes, due to the scanty clothing of this age, particularly in these warmer countries, a general problem of forgetfulness has begun as a result of the abuse arising from harmful gazes. Whether minor or major, everyone in general voices this complaint. Thus, the rise of this general problem shows the tip of the interpretation of the striking news given by the Hadith, in which the Prophet ﷺ said, in Akhir Zaman, the Qur'an will be torn away, lifted from the hearts of the Hafizes, and be forgotten. That is, this problem will intensify, and for some people the memorization of the Qur'an will be buried due to the harmful gaze, thereby demonstrating the interpretation of this hadith. لا يعلم الغيب إلا الله. The third man and his mother. A man who is very closely connected with us often makes the dreadful complaint saying, I am not getting anywhere. I have become worse. I am not able to see the results of my spiritual services. He asks for help. We write to him that this world is the abode of service. It is not the place for receiving rewards. The rewards, fruits, and lights of good deeds will be in the barzakh and in the hereafter. To bring those eternal fruits down to this world and to desire them in this world is to make the hereafter submit to your world. Thereby, the ikhlas in your good deeds will be lost, and you will lose its light. Yes, those fruits cannot be expected, and they cannot be intended. If the fruit is given, one would think of it as an incentive and offer thanks to Allah. Yes, as was mentioned in one or two letters, in this age, the life of this world has provoked, wounded, and excited these temperaments so much that even a blessed, elderly Hoja who performs his salah in a way desires the enjoyments of the hereafter in this world, and what governs him in the first degree are the pleasures of worldly life. The fourth, a man who is connected with us complained in an unfortunate manner, like many others, about losing the pleasure and enthusiasm he used to have when reading the wird in the strict tariqah he was previously in, and that he was overcome by feelings of distress and drowsiness. We said to him, in the same way, when physical weather deteriorates, one can feel depressed, and it makes temperamental hearts feel constricted, so too the spiritual weather sometimes deteriorates. During such a time, particularly in this age which has become foreign in spiritual matters, especially in countries that have popularized the desires and pleasures of the nafs, and especially during the haram months and the three blessed months, the awakening and general attentiveness of the world of Islam, which purifies the spiritual weather, comes to a stoppage with the passing of these months, and the misguidance which deteriorates this weather begins to take effect. And at such a time when, particularly under the pressures of winter, the listening of the attacks of worldly life and the desires of the nafs induce a yearning in the people of Islam and the people of Iman to work for the life of the hereafter, and with the arrival of spring bringing with it the intensifying of worldly life, the desires of the nafs conceal that yearning for the life of the hereafter. During these times, indeed, in place of pleasure and enthusiasm, these sacred erats will bring about yawning and slackness. But since according to the mystery of Khairul Umuri Ahmazuha, the most difficult, inconvenient, tedious, and troubling good deeds and good works are more valuable and greater in merit, it is necessary to think of the great rewards and the acceptability within that trouble and difficulty, and patiently offer thanks to Allah. The fifth, a student of the Risale-i Nur said that one of the reasons he was unable to work for the Risale-i Nur was due to his increased struggle for livelihood. So we told him, the reason why the struggle for your livelihood has intensified is because you are not working for the Risale-i Nur. Because every student in this region admits, and I too say that, as we work for the Risale-i Nur, we experience ease in life, contentment in the hearts, and facility in livelihood. The sixth, it is this helpless Sayyid. The praise, affection, and conversation directed to my person on points that are not related to the Risale-i Nur, which everyone desires, seeks, and contentedly accepts, burden me, trouble me, and sadden me. It is my guess that if the high qualities of the Risale-i Nur and the significant virtues of the collective spiritual character of its students, which carry meanings as great as a mountain, is loaded on the shoulders of a weak and helpless man like myself, who has traversed very far on the method of impotence, he will be crushed beneath it and be troubled. The little paper I have left has made me cut short these last 2 matters. We pass on thousands of salam to the Nur, Rose Factories, the champion heirs of Lutfi, the elevated team of the blessed group, the Madrasa Nouriya, and to each of the innocent and illiterate elderly. Your brother in need of your dua and who longs for you, Said Nursi. My dear, loyal, unshakable, unflinching, steadfast, and sacrificing brothers, I do not see the need to encourage you in response to such intense attacks. We know that the strength of your firmness and your belief that there is a divine favor and mercy beneath each of the distressing incidents the Risale-i Nur faces are enough to give you courage. There is only one point that I am curious about. The Risale-i Nur that has been seized, is it only one complete collection, and who does it belong to? I would like to know. However, it belongs to they should not be worried. They will be making conquest on his behalf in much greater stations and earning him rewards. A complete collection of the Risale-i Nur can be obtained for him. Also, is there anyone who has been arrested? And who is the Hoja who they have referred to? Secondly, we too agree with the decision reached by the opinions of Sabri and Hafiz Ali to facilitate communication by sometimes taking the route of Atabi. It will be sent to the name of Abdullah Çavuş, the heir of Lütfü, and to his address. Thirdly, the extraction in Sabri's letter regarding describing of the miraculousness of the Qur'an with Tawafuk and the Risale-i Nur has deeply pleased us. We have taken as a standard the miraculousness of the Qur'an, which Hasan Atif has described for us in a dazzling and attractive style, and have included at the end of it the matters about the miracles of the Qur'an from other risales. They have taken a beautiful form. In brief, the addendums include parts such as the 17th station of the Ayat al-Kubra regarding the Qur'an, the 20th word, and the 7th flash about the miraculousness of the final ayah in Surah Fath, the important parts regarding Rumuzat al-Samaniya, the 8th allusions in the index, and the 2 points on the Kanzul Arsh. It has become as brilliant as the addendums of the miracles of Ahmed ﷺ. Sabri, the switchboard for the Nur, will inshallah perfect the decoration of that beautiful miraculousness of the Qur'an he has described with these parts. Fourthly, the letter by Abdullah Çavuş, who is a true and serious heir of the late Lütfü, shows his level of loyalty, ikhlas, and connection. I recall in my prayers this Abdullah Çavuş together with the Abdullah from Islamköy all the time. He truly shows that he is worthy of that station. The last amended part of the index, which he has requested, will inshallah be sent to him. But we have not made as many emendations as he expected. Taking the writings of those blessed brothers as a blessed memento, I could not bring myself to make changes to it since it was described by way of collaboration. Fifthly, in recent days, due to that incident, the sorrow caused by the anxiety that I will be cursed into a degree of stoppage with the Risale-i Nur and forced to look upon worldly matters and be made to address the people I have not been speaking with for 20 years and come in contact with politics, which we have been prohibited with respect to the service of the Qur'an, made me suffer the attack of an illness that cannot be detected physically but is spiritually dangerous. As I have not been able to fulfill my regular practice, it is my sincere request from my brothers that they once again reach out to spiritually assist me like the illness I suffered in Ramadan. But do not worry, I am not bedridden. But I am unable to amend writings which have many copies. Sixthly, even if the Risale-i Nur experiences a stoppage on one front, its victories on other fronts will make up for that stoppage. In fact, in relation to these incidents, although we intended and considered to go through a phase of stoppage as a precautionary measure here, there was a growth which manifested in this region in contrast to the stoppage in Sparta. Alhamdulillah hadha min fadli Rabbi. An important official who carries the highest responsibility for supervising us and who is concerned with us and politics came to me. I told him the following: for the last 18 years I have not applied to you, and nor have I read any newspapers. For the last 8 months, not once have I asked about what is taking place in the world. For 3 years, I have not listened to the radio that can be overheard from here, also that our Secret Service is not spiritually harmed. The reason for this is that the service of Iman and the truths of Iman are superior to everything in this universe. They cannot be subject to and the instruments of anything. However, in this age, due to the concern that, in the eyes of those people of misguidance and heedlessness, who sell their religions for the world and who exchange eternal diamonds for broken glass, the service of Iman will be viewed as being subject to or the instruments of powerful external forces, and that, in the view of the general public, it will diminish the high value of Iman. The service of the all-wise Qur'an has unequivocally forbidden us from politics. So, O you people of politics and government, do not pester us out of suspicion. On the contrary, you should be facilitating us, because by establishing security, respect, and compassion, our service strives to protect public order, security, and social life from anarchy. It identifies the foundations of your true duty, and it strengthens and verifies it. Seventhly, as for Hafiz Ali's letter, we had posted our letter to him a week ago addressing certain people, and the last letter about the current incidents coming to pass slightly. For Hafiz Ali to write his letter as though having read both those letters before they had arrived is a flash of keramat of his loyalty. Furthermore, on that same day, Nazif's friend, Köroğlu Ahmet, came to tell us his exact dream in which he saw an important high-ranking political official visiting me, which has never before happened, and asked for its interpretation 3 hours before that official actually came. Without any need for explanation, its interpretation came about. We pass on salam to all our brothers, particularly those who have suffered, and pray for them. My dear, loyal, blessed brothers, and my steadfast, unshakable, and tireless friends in the service of Qur'an and Iman, and my compassionate, sacrificing, and faithful fellow travelers in this guest house of the world. This time, the good news bearing letters written by the custodian of the Nur factory and champion Tahir, who as a perfect assistant is a complete Husrev, and the second dream of carpenter Ahmed, who is one of the companions of the Madrasa Nuriya, and his seeing at the end of his third dream Hafiz Mehmet, who is unshaken and continues to be active after the known calamity, reading the dua of completion of the Qur'an by the kids and having them read the Risale-i Nur, has lifted an enormous spiritual weight off our shoulders. May Almighty Allah protect you and them from spiritual and material disasters. Ameen. In terms of its connection with the Prophets ﷺ and its joyful nature, the second dream of Carpenter Ahmed is a true dream. It indicates that the material services of the brothers and sisters around that Madrasa Nuriya will take on a physical and spirited form and become the means of reviving the illustrious sunnah of the noble prophets ﷺ. With regards to this, I will share with you a dream that I saw 2 days before I received your letter. It is as follows. I saw the current leader or current leaders trying to implement the rank of Khilafah and its matters to 1 or 2 important Hojas who I recognized. In the dream, I understood who the rank of Khilafah was going to be given to. As I saw them coming towards me to show me their final decisions, I woke up. I told my friends about this in the morning and said, Allahu Alam, there must have been a spiritual victory behind the Risale-i Nur's material setback in Sparta and its regions, such that the most important matters of Islam was to be made the topic of discussion among high-ranking officials. While we were unaware of the extent of that calamity in Sparta, and we did not understand and have any information about neither the state of the world nor the official state of the country, an indication which signified this dream to be a true dream made me glance over it for a day. That indication is this. An important student of the Risale-i Nur came from Ankara and said, without me asking, the president has apparently ordered that a new tafsir be written for the Qur'an, and this person has begun writing it. He also said that, contrary to a 20-year practice, the interior minister made a statement in favor of religion saying, a nation cannot live without religion, and the Minister of Education went against its previous principles and made statements in favor of Islamic morals. After blocking my ears to any news for 8 months, for the sake of this dream, I accepted this as it implied significant changes. I seriously wanted to understand the reason for this. It was suddenly warned to me that the people of misguidance wanted to measure the degree of the Risale-i Nur's strength, and by deceiving political officials, they perpetrated an attack across a broad area from here to there. Since they realized that its strength cannot be uprooted and defeated, important high-level officials made it their agenda to discuss its nature and examine it, and were left with no choice but to set the way for a kind of truth. And, in place of the great mistake committed until now, of ascribing all virtues to a leader who is dead, and ascribing failures to the nation and the military, which is completely contrary to truth and wisdom, they have begun to look for ways to save themselves to a degree from those terrifying mistakes by ascribing all the failures to the dead leader and prepare the grounds for this to happen. This is what is informed by the dream and this news. The letter co-written by the first and second Hulusi demonstrates that in every incident the efforts and loyalty of these two important pillars are firmer than steel. Said Nursi. My dear, loyal, steadfast brothers and my true heirs, in recent days, due to the anger it caused in me, I attempted to curse those who conspired against the Risale-i Nur and who brought suffering onto you. Suddenly, I pitied Sparta. Every time I made an attempt, the conspirators were saved due to the good people in Sparta. I felt pity, and instead of delivering a curse, I prayed and have continued to pray, O Lord, since Sparta is a Madrasatu Zahra of the Risale-i Nur, correct the evil officials there too and grant them a favorable end. Secondly, I recently looked at the Arabic Risales such as Habbe, Katre, Shemme, Hubab, which Salahaddin had brought from Istanbul. I saw that the truths which the Nifsite directly observed in the journey of his heart are like the seeds of the Risale-i Nur. In fact, together with Shule and Zuhre, these are the Arabic parts of the Risale-i Nur. They are the direct lessons of my nafs, and as a result they have been briefly expressed in Arabic with no other person intended. At the time, foremost the Shaykhul Islam, the members of Darul Hikmet, and the great scholars of Istanbul welcomed them with praise and appreciation. These are the works of the new site and are therefore parts of the Risale-i Nur. As for the old site, it is only Isharatul Ijaz from among his Arabic Risales that has received an important rank in the Risale-i Nur. Also, the Risale composed by both Sayyids during the month of Ramadan between two crescents, which naturally took on the form of verse without my will, and is included in a part of İşaret-ül-İcaz in 50 to 60 pages and has been titled Lemaat in Turkish, can also enter the Risale-i Nur. Unfortunately, I could not find a copy for myself. Since everyone was delighted to read it, there are no printed copies left in circulation. Also, the published work titled Kızıl-İcaz, which is a summary of one of the unpublished works of the Old Said titled Talikat, is a masterpiece in the science of logic, and in terms of the miraculousness in wondrous eloquence, it has made investigative scholars look at it attentively in amazement and appreciation. I see this too worthy of being connected to the Risale-i Nur and being shown to the scholars from among its students. It is, however, very deep. I recently gave Feyzi a small lesson from it. Perhaps Feyzi will one day write out his lesson in Turkish so that others too can understand it.